They said managing Real Madrid was impossible. Then Xabi Alonso walked in and instantly turned Bernabeu into a war room. His first move? A ruthless squad overhaul that's sending shockwaves through Europe. But the real terror? His secret formation that makes Pep Guardiola look ordinary. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see why Barcelona are already panicking. Xabi Alonso is not walking into Bernabeu as a stranger. He's not walking into a club in need of rebuilding from ashes. He's stepping into a throne room that has been repainted in gold and tension, a place where trophies are expected like sunrise, and even the sun is questioned if it delays. When Luka Modric announced that the Club World Cup would be his final dance in the white jersey, the news barely held the headlines for long. That was because something even more seismic was on the horizon. Xabi Alonso Olano, the calm executioner of midfield logic, was returning to Madrid, but this time, he wouldn't be patrolling the pitch. He'd be commanding from the shadows of the dugout, armed with a clipboard and the burden of immortality. Alonso doesn't need introductions in Madrid. He wore the badge, bled through its wars, lifted trophies, and read the rhythm of games with the intuition of a prophet. But as he returns, the stakes are not sentimental, they are brutal. This is Real Madrid, the land of Galacticos, unforgiving fans, and presidents who blink only when silverware is missing. And if you think this is just about nostalgia, think again. Xabi Alonso is about to wage war on mediocrity with a blueprint so precise it might as well be drafted in steel. It starts from the back. The center backs aren't just there to block shots. In Alonso's system, they're architects. The arrival of Dean Huijsen, a towering sentinel with 1.95 meters of calculated aggression, marks a new dawn. You may have missed him at Roma, blinked past him at Juventus, and overlook him at Bournemouth, but that ends now. He is Alonso's chosen guardian, a blend of aerial domination and ball-playing serenity. The boy doesn't just tackle, he dictates. He reads a game like a novel he's already memorized. And more than anything, he fits perfectly into the doctrine of a manager who builds empires from the back. Dean is not coming alone. Trent Alexander-Arnold has shut the gates at Anfield, turned off the Merseyside lights, and booked a one-way ticket to Madrid. He isn't just a right back. He is chaos in motion, a passer with the soul of a number 10 and the range of an artillery general. Imagine Trent whipping those devastating crosses to Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. Imagine him releasing them with needle-threaded passes through desperate defenses. If you're trembling at the thought, so are La Liga's defenders. Because Real Madrid, under Alonso, won't be playing football. They'll be scripting ballet in boots with blades for toes. But Madrid's problem wasn't always the attack. Last season, it was a defense that cracked. Antonio Rudiger staggered through his worst campaign in white. He looked haunted. The backline was brittle, disjointed, sometimes laughable. Alonso has no time for softness. Huijsen's arrival is surgical, an insertion of calm brutality. But even that isn't enough. The left-back slot is undergoing its own quiet revolution. Ferland Mendy, once Ancelotti's silent weapon, is fading. His reliability is noted, but his limitations scream louder now. In his place, Alvaro Carreras is stepping in, a product of the academy, sculpted in Benfica, and already being compared to the likes of Alex Grimaldo. Carreras is not just a replacement, he is a statement. He can glide into a 4-4-2, slice through defenses as a wing-back in a 3-4-3, or stand tall as a classic left-back. And at 1.86 meters, he brings not just agility, but presence. Carreras led Benfica in minutes this season. That's not random. That's trust rewarded by performance. He attacks with intent and defends with maturity. He isn't learning to swim. He's diving into the ocean, ready to conquer. But what makes Alonso's Real Madrid terrifying is not just who is arriving. It's what he demands of them. At Bayer Leverkusen, he forged a formation of terror, a 3-4-3 that could morph into a 5-2-3 or collapse into a defensive barricade. His players didn't play positions. They embodied roles. They were moving parts in a machine built for suffocation and blast. The likes of Edmund Tapsoba, who calmly carried the ball into midfield like a war general, became the prototype. Now imagine that philosophy, but turbocharged with Madrid's resources. Imagine a world where defenders are playmakers, midfielders are multidimensional, and forwards are merciless phantoms tearing down flanks. Nico Williams may soon be part of this storm. Athletic Club has fought to keep him, but Real Madrid whispers louder than resistance. At 58 million euros, his release clause could be met in a blink. If that happens, the implications are severe. Rodrygo's might be the sacrifice. He has felt the chill of reduced relevance with the arrival of Jude Bellingham and the Mbappe-shaped eclipse. The Brazilian's future is dangling. His minutes will shrink if Nico arrives, and his confidence may already be crumbling under the weight of shadows he once stood beside his equals. Alonso isn't coming in to hand out hugs. He's coming in to build a dynasty. Florentino Perez isn't dreaming small either. Alonso's intelligence lies in unpredictability. Hausen, Rudiger, and Raul Asensio anchoring a back three. Trent and Carreras as blitzing wingbacks. Valverde and Tchouaméni devouring midfield like wolves. Jude just behind Mbappe and Vinicius, feeding them like a maestro with a dagger in hand. And still, the question lingers like smoke. Can Xabi Alonso handle the beast that is Real Madrid? The pressure is volcanic. The expectations are immortal. You don't just coach Madrid. You become part of its myth or you're buried by it. And yet, there is something in Alonso's eyes, something cold, methodical, inevitable. He's already started writing the next chapter. The same way he dictated games with a single pass, he will now orchestrate seasons with a single decision. Real Madrid doesn't wait. It devours the hesitant. And Xabi Alonso, he doesn't hesitate. He dissects. He commands. He evolves. In a world trembling with tactical trends, he walks with an old soul and a new mind. A mind shaped by Anfield, Burnich and Munich, sharpened in San Sebastian, and now tested at the Temple of Pressure. This isn't just a managerial appointment. It's a turning of the page in Madrid's endless story of dominance. And while others wonder whether he's ready, Xabi Alonso isn't asking questions. He's issuing warnings. The future is already arriving in white. And this time, it speaks with the voice of a man who once ruled the midfield and is now ready to rule everything else. Will Real Madrid become the most tactically terrifying machine Europe has ever seen? Will Trent rewrite the right flank and Nico erase Rodrygo from the lineup? Will Dean Huijsen become the cornerstone of a defensive revolution forged in silence and precision? Tell us if you think Alonso is the one, and subscribe before the dynasty begins. Because once the white wave starts rolling, no one will stop it.